Shalom, Kol Halal, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash. Double honors into the apostles, double honors into the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. The 144,000 and the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth among the heathen that look like those heathen. This is not a black thing. And to the few akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you another lesson in truth. And this is going to be part 2 of what will be the effect on Judeo-Christianity now that, what was the name of the video? Now that historical lies have been destroyed. All right, with those icons being revealed by President Putin has thrown a monkey wrench in the narrative of Judeo-Christianity. And that's why the small hats, as beloved brother Rawchaa calls them, the JJs, or Zaquan Yashawan would refer to them as the JOOs. Why they want to control and filter every form of social media to protect their lives. That's what it comes down to. This guy, the head of the ADL, whatever his name is, let me pull him up. I forget his name now, but the ADL, which is a foreign, entity that actually controls policy here in America, working for a foreign government. All right, because that's exactly what it is. Just like APAC and their other, and then other entities that they have. All right. But let's grab a scripture. This won't be a long video, but it's going to be pretty straight to the point. Receipts shown to prove that what I'm saying is true and what they're saying is lies. But this is Luke 8:17, and it reads, "For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that should not be known and come abroad." So the truth, is going to come out. See, you don't have to create alphabet organizations, to protect the truth. The truth stands for itself. You don't have to pass statutes and codes, that you can't speak against a certain people. Create a whole word. The word Sem or Semite is not even biblical. The man's name was Shem, and he's the father of Shemitic people, or the Shemites. You don't have to create a doctrine to protect the truth. Okay, so what you're looking at on the screen is Ludovico Sforza. I think the S is silent. It's silent, and this is Renaissance art. But I'm going to, and I got some of his images in my phone, and see, I have that same image. Let's make it bigger in my phone. And that's him, or the portrait of him. But this is from a video that was put up by Cudimero. I got to give him credit where credit was due. And it was called The Swarthy Kings and Nobles. Ludovico Sforza Il Moro, the Duke of Milan, the Moor. So, and this is the image that they've put up. Same thing that these modern day things, these modern day organizations, some of them that I already mentioned that I won't mention again. This is the sort of thing that they will co-sign to, but called The Truth Hatred. So here's a book that here's the number one receipt. All right. And it says, and this came from the book that he was reading about this man that was written during the time period. All right. You can see the word complexion. All right. But it says, aiming their faces, discovered Ludovic armed and dressed like a Swift's, and feeds both him and his principal officers April 10th, of whom no doubt the treacherous Swifts had given previous notice. Ludovic was immediately carried into France imprisoned in the castle of Rawchaa. This is Old English we're reading. This is a very old book. This is about a 500-year-old book, 400-year-old book. All right. Where he died about the year 1510. The taking of him gave rife to the proverb in France. Well, that's a French word, so I'm not even going to attempt it. He was taken as a Moor. The nickname given him from the blackness of his complexion. Such is the fate of the Duke, all right, who deserved no better, having usurped the duchy of Milan from his nephew, whom he had poisoned, committed many treacheries against France, and battled his neighbor, allies, and enemies. So it just talked about the blackness of his complexion. Now here are images of him that are still in different parts of Italy and in Milan today. All right. Okay. The Duke of Milan was referred to as a Moor. And what is an Amaneno? A Moor, was a Jew or a Moor. All right. We know that a Moor is a German word for black. So, these people are just liars, man. Matter of fact, let's grab a scripture. Because I said I would do a part 2. So, I just wanted to finish that so I can get these images out my phone and make room. Be trying to collect up the receipts, and then the phone on, just be so full you can barely do stuff. But I said the scripture comes out every week, especially now. Deuteronomy 33:29. And it reads, Happy art thou, Israel, who is like unto thee, O people saved by Yahawah, the shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency. And thy enemies shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places. And their high places is all built upon lies. And, look at what's happening in the earth. Because the men of the Lord, the truth is being pushed by the prophets. And they know that they have but a short time. This is why they're pushing. There's so much happening in the world today. It's hard to keep up. Opening up CERN, earthquakes, floods, wars, bombings, attacks. The threat of darkness, the threat of the kill switch on the internet. Troops being deployed because of missiles are gonna be fired. Because all this because of the lunar eclipse. And we know that the moon is used for signs and for wonders in times, and their time is up. All right. So at this point, Amalek, the JOOs, they're completely exposed at this. They've been discovered, and the world is not feeling them, which is why this guy, whatever his name, Greenback or Greenblock, the head of the ADL, wants to, shut down and control. He was pretty much bragging, in the video that I saw about how he, has control over, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and why the thing that's, coming against TikTok. It's all to protect them, to protect their lie, to keep the narrative, the false. But the narrative is already destroyed. So it's like, why? It just makes you look even worse at this point. All right. So let's get some more receipts, some more damaging receipts. And because those images, look, the men of the Lord, even other Israelite groups have been bringing these images out. This is from the book Nature Knows No Color Line, and the images of the book Nature Knows No Color. These are the royals of, let's click on this. All right. These are royal families of Central Europe. All right. Right there in your face. Okay. Royal families of Central Europe. Okay. And it's telling you that they, let's see if we can zoom in and read that. Slovakia. British families, all right, of the Moors of Yorkshire including Sir Thomas More, the Chancellor, and Henry VIII. So these are your actual royals, not Harry and Charles and Diana and all. These are your actual royals. And because, like I said, those images brought into question the history of Europe that you've been taught. All right? And Europe is a part of Asia, by the way. All right, so is the so-called the Middle East and Europe are Western Asia. That's exactly what they are. Same landmass. It's not two different land masses. You can't carve up a landmass and then call it something else. But they did that to what? To fit this false narrative that they've pushed. All right. So yeah, and just for anyone who wants to know, the images in this book came directly from Donald Fairbairn's book, The Book of Crest from 1859. All right. And you have to be a congressman to get this out of the Library of Congress. A regular citizen couldn't go get this book. So what this tells you that these Edomites and these so-called self-proclaimed white people in power in America, in the West, they have the records, and they know exactly who the so-called Negroes are here in America that came over here on the ships. That they were not Africans, they were not from Africa, they were refugees there from the land of Israel, and they omitted and redacted that history and taught this lie that, you know, these were Africans. And then some of them, they just, as you saw with Ludovic Forza, they just completely turned him into a white guy. Come the time of the Renaissance. All right. Remember, this was from, and these images that J.A. Rogers used in the book Nature Knows No Color Line came straight from Donald Fairbairn's Book of Crest from 1859. That's where they came from. Okay? So, matter of fact, let's get a couple scriptures. Let's get Job 9:24. And it reads, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So who went around covering up all the faces and putting theirs up and saying that they're this and they're that? Saying that they're European and saying that they're white, and saying that they're Caucasian. They're everything. They were the Spartans. They were the Jews. They were, you know, the Irish, the Scots. And, well, you're looking at they were none of those things. All right? I'm rewatching the Vikings right now, you know, and the people playing them, it's aesthetically incorrect. It's amazing how they can get all the dress and, you know, and the weapons and the tools and, you know, all that perfect, but not get the people right. All right. And then you know, these Edomites get so angry when you show colored people in those roles. But the fact of the matter is that's who's really there. Had you not heard that, you know, for those of you who don't know, the Lone Ranger, everyone remembers the Lone Ranger. All right. That was based off of a so-called black man named Boz Reeves, who was the first so-called black U.S. Marshal. But when they put it on TV, what did they do? They put a white man with a Gadite instead of a Judite with a Gadite. All right. These people just completely and totally hateful and racist. You know, the show that came out in the 70s, Kung Fu, was Bruce Lee's idea of a Chinaman traveling through the Old West, using only his hands as weapons, you know, and using them for good in search of his father. All right, but what did they do? They said no to the show. Then they went and did a show anyway and used David Carradine. Used a man, Edomite, who could pass for, or like look like he could have been half, but he just happened to have those, because they wanted a white man, because Bruce Lee looked too Chinese to play a Chinese. How up fucking absurd. You're too Chinese to play a Chinese. What, huh? Fuck you mean? So, one more scripture, man. And for the record, Bruce Lee was a Jake. You know, go read Isaiah 16:4 before you open your mouth to say something stupid. Isaiah 16:4. Go read it. This is 2nd Ezra 6:27. And it reads, "For evil shall be put out, deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which have been so long without fruit shall be declared." So with that, I'm going to give all praises, all honor and glory unto Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash, Kwam Yasharala, Shalom.